Masturbation is a deeply personal act, one you've likely practiced for decades with familiarity and comfort. It feels private, safe, and even routine, a moment of solace in a busy life. But what if I told you that after age 70, this seemingly harmless habit could quietly jeopardize your heart, strain your circulation, or even shorten your life if done without care? The risks aren't always obvious, but they're real, and they become more significant as your body ages. I'm Dr. James Carter, a men's health specialist with over 60 years of experience guiding older men to maintain their strength, confidence, and sexual vitality. In this video, I'll uncover 4 common mistakes men over 70 make during masturbation, mistakes that can silently erode your health and well-being. I'll also share practical, science-backed strategies to avoid them and ensure your private moments remain safe and fulfilling. Pay special attention to mistake number 3. It's the most overlooked and carries the greatest risk. Before we begin, please subscribe and click the notification bell to receive health tips crafted specifically for men in their 70s and beyond. In the comments, type 1 if this topic speaks to you, or 0 if it doesn't. Your input helps me create content that truly serves your needs. Let's dive into the first mistake that could be putting your health at risk without you even realizing it. Mistake 1. Engaging when physically exhausted or dehydrated. One of the most common mistakes men over 70 make is masturbating when their body is already pushed to its limits, whether from physical fatigue, dehydration, or insufficient rest. Imagine this scenario. You've spent the day tackling chores like mowing the lawn, running errands, or caring for grandchildren. Perhaps you didn't sleep well the night before, or you haven't had enough water. You're tired, your muscles are sore, and your energy is drained, but you think a moment of self-intimacy might help you unwind before bed. It seems like a natural way to relax, right? Unfortunately, at this stage of life, your body doesn't respond the way it did in your 30s or 40s. Aging affects your cardiovascular system. Your heart pumps less efficiently, your arteries lose flexibility, and your blood pressure can fluctuate unpredictably. Even a private act like masturbation places significant demands on your body: increased heart rate, muscle tension, and elevated blood flow. When you're already exhausted or dehydrated, these demands can push your system into dangerous territory. In my decades of practice, I've seen men experience alarming symptoms after masturbating in a depleted state. Some report dizziness or lightheadedness. Others feel a strange tightness in their chest or struggle to catch their breath. One patient, a 74-year-old retiree in decent health, collapsed in his bedroom after masturbating late at night following a day of heavy yard work. His body was already taxed, and what he thought would be a moment of comfort turned into a medical emergency requiring hospitalization. The science behind this is clear. Fatigue and dehydration impair your body's ability to regulate blood pressure. During orgasm, your heart rate spikes, and blood pressure can drop suddenly afterward, a phenomenon called postural hypotension. This can lead to fainting, falls, or, in rare cases, serious cardiovascular complications like a heart attack or stroke. The emotional impact is just as significant. Many men feel embarrassed or dismiss these incidents, thinking, "I was just tired, it's no big deal." Some avoid discussing it altogether, fearing judgment or shame. But ignoring the pattern is risky. Repeatedly pushing your body when it's asking for rest can weaken your resilience, disrupt hormonal balance, and erode your confidence over time. It can also make intimacy feel less satisfying, as your body struggles to perform under stress. How to avoid this mistake. Choose moments for intimacy when your body is rested and nourished. Before engaging, drink a glass of water to ensure proper hydration. Dehydration exacerbates blood pressure fluctuations. Sit in a comfortable, supportive chair or on your bed and take a few slow, deep breaths to relax your nervous system. Check in with your energy levels. If you're feeling drained, prioritize rest instead. For example, try scheduling these moments earlier in the day, perhaps after a light meal or a short nap, when your body is at its strongest. If you're unsure whether you're hydrated, a simple rule is to check your urine. Color pale yellow indicates good hydration, while dark yellow suggests you need more water. These small adjustments not only protect your heart and circulation, but also make the experience more enjoyable, allowing you to feel energized rather than depleted. By respecting your body's limits, you ensure that intimacy remains a source of vitality, not a hidden risk. Mistake 2. Rushing without emotional or mental presence. The second mistake is approaching masturbation as a quick, mechanical task rather than a meaningful moment of self-connection. For many men over 70, societal pressures, whether from cultural stigma, religious guilt, or the belief that sexual pleasure is less relevant with age, create a sense of discomfort or shame. As a result, you might rush through the act, treating it like a chore to complete in secret, perhaps out of habit or fear of being caught. This hurried mindset does more harm than you might realize. When you rush, your nervous system stays in a state of tension, activating a mild fight-or-flight response. Your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tighten, and your blood vessels constrict, placing unnecessary strain on your heart and prostate. Over time, this can reduce blood flow to the penis, leading to weaker erections, diminished sensitivity, and longer recovery times between sessions. The emotional consequences are equally significant. Rushing through masturbation can leave you feeling disconnected, numb, or even frustrated afterward. What was once a source of comfort and pleasure becomes a hollow routine, devoid of fulfillment. I've had patients describe feeling emotionally distant or irritable after these moments, not because of age, but because they're not fully present. This disconnection can erode your sense of self-worth and intimacy, making you feel isolated or less confident in your body's capabilities. The problem isn't the act itself, it's the lack of care and intention behind it. Consider this. Societal messages often imply that older men should suppress their sexual desires or that intimacy is somehow inappropriate after a certain age. These beliefs can lead you to hurry through as if you're doing something wrong. But you deserve to embrace these moments with the same dignity and respect you give to other aspects of your life. Slowing down and being mindful can transform the experience. For example, one 71-year-old patient I worked with began practicing mindfulness during these moments, focusing on his breathing, relaxing his body, and letting go of distractions. Within weeks, he reported stronger erections, better sleep, and a renewed sense of connection with himself. His anxiety decreased, and he felt more in tune with his body's needs. How to avoid this mistake? Take time to create a calm, intentional environment. Find a quiet, private space where you feel safe and unhurried. Before bathing, take 10 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth to calm your nervous system. Focus on the sensations, not just the end goal. If your mind wanders to guilt or external pressures, gently redirect your attention to the present moment. You might even try dimming the lights or playing soft music to enhance relaxation. Ask yourself, are you rushing because of shame or habit? Are you denying yourself the full experience of pleasure because you've internalized stereotypes about aging? By approaching intimacy with mindfulness, you improve blood flow, reduce stress, and restore the emotional and physical benefits of the act. Your body and mind are still worthy of care. Treat them with the respect they've earned after decades of life. Mistake 3. Masturbating in unsafe positions or environments. The third mistake, and the one I consider the most dangerous, is masturbating in positions or settings that compromise your physical safety. Most men don't give a second thought to where or how they engage in this private act. Standing in the shower, leaning over a bathroom sink, or sitting awkwardly on the edge of a bed might feel like second nature, especially if you've done it this way for years. But after 70, your body's limitations make these choices risky. Aging weakens balance, muscle strength, and reaction times. During masturbation, your heart rate increases, blood flow shifts, and blood pressure can drop suddenly after orgasm, particularly in warm or slippery environments like a bathroom. This combination heightens the risk of fainting or falling, which can lead to serious injuries like fractures or concussions. I'll never forget a 76-year-old patient who suffered a life-altering injury after passing out in his shower. He had no history of heart problems, but the combination of standing, steam, and post-orgasmic hypotension caused him to collapse, fracturing his hip. He lay on the bathroom floor for nearly an hour before a neighbor found him. The injury severely limited his mobility, forcing him to rely on a walker and robbing him of the independence he cherished. This wasn't an isolated case. I've seen similar incidents where men underestimated the risks of their environment. Even without dramatic falls, repeatedly masturbating in awkward or unsupported positions can strain your lower back, pelvic floor, or leg muscles. Over time, this leads to chronic discomfort, nerve compression, or reduced flexibility, making future intimacy less comfortable or even painful. The emotional impact of an unsafe environment shouldn't be overlooked. When you're in a precarious position, physically or mentally, you're more likely to feel anxious or rushed, which undermines the relaxation and connection that intimacy should provide. Creating a safe, stable setting fosters a sense of dignity and self-respect, allowing you to fully embrace the moment without fear of injury. How to avoid this mistake? Prioritize stability and safety in your environment. Choose a seated position in a comfortable, supportive chair or on your bed with pillows to support your back. Ensure your feet are firmly grounded to maintain balance. Avoid slippery surfaces like bathrooms, especially showers, where the risk of falling is highest. If you prefer a warm environment, consider using a space heater in a dry, secure room instead. For example, one patient switched to masturbating in a recliner with a footrest, which not only reduced his risk of falling, but also made the experience more relaxing and enjoyable. Before you begin, scan your surroundings. Is the area free of hazards? Are you in a position that supports your body? These simple checks can prevent accidents and enhance your sense of calm. By creating a safe, intentional space, you protect your physical health and cultivate a mindset of self-care, ensuring that intimacy remains a source of comfort, not danger. Mistake 4. Ignoring subtle changes in sexual function. The final mistake is the most insidious because it's so easy to overlook. Ignoring or dismissing changes in how your body responds during masturbation. As you age, you might notice subtle shifts. Arousal takes longer, erections feel less firm, orgasms are less intense, or you feel less satisfied afterward. Perhaps ejaculation patterns change, or you experience mild discomfort during or after the act. For many men over 70, these changes are brushed off as just part of aging, something to accept and move on from. But this mindset is dangerous. These aren't random or inevitable changes. They're often your body's way of signaling underlying health issues, such as poor circulation, hormonal imbalances, nerve dysfunction, or early-stage prostate conditions. In my practice, I've seen men regret waiting too long to address these signs. One 72-year-old patient ignored a gradual loss of sensitivity for over a year, assuming it was normal for his age. By the time he sought help, he was diagnosed with early erectile dysfunction and mild prostate enlargement, conditions that could have been managed earlier with lifestyle changes or medical intervention. Another patient, a 75-year-old, noticed urinary hesitation alongside weaker erections, but dismissed it as getting old. When he finally consulted me, he learned he had benign prostatic hyperplasia, which had progressed to the point of requiring surgery. These stories highlight a critical truth. Your body always communicates before it breaks down. A decrease in sexual sensitivity, difficulty maintaining arousal, or changes in ejaculation are not just inconveniences, they're messages from your vascular, nervous, or endocrine systems. Poor circulation, for instance, doesn't just affect sexual function. It can signal risks to your heart or brain. Prostate issues, if caught early, are often treatable with diet, exercise, or medication, but only if you act promptly. Shame and embarrassment often prevent men from seeking help. Many feel reluctant to discuss sexual changes with a doctor, fearing judgment or believing it's too late to make a difference. But this silence only compounds the problem, delaying treatment and eroding confidence and intimacy. The good news is that you have more control than you might think. Many conditions, when addressed early, are manageable or even reversible. Simple blood tests can reveal hormonal imbalances like low testosterone, which can be treated with lifestyle changes or medical support. Improved dietrich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats can boost circulation. Regular exercise, like walking or pelvic floor exercises, can enhance sexual function and prostate health. How to avoid this mistake? Start by paying attention to your body's signals. Keep a journal to track changes in arousal, erection quality, or sensation over a few weeks. If you notice persistent differences, don't dismiss them. Consult a men's health specialist. Ask for a comprehensive checkup, including blood work to assess testosterone, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels, which can affect sexual function. Explore lifestyle changes. Aim for 30 minutes of moderate exercise, like brisk walking 5 days a week, to improve circulation. Incorporate foods like salmon, walnuts, and leafy greens to support vascular health. Practice stress reduction techniques such as meditation or yoga to balance hormones. Most importantly, let go of the stigma. Your body has carried you through 70, 75, or even 80 years. It deserves your attention when it whispers, not just when it screams. By acting early, you can preserve your sexual health, confidence, and overall vitality for years to come. Conclusion: embrace awareness for a vibrant future. At 70 and beyond, every choice you make carries greater weight, from the foods you eat to the way you rest, exercise, and even approach private moments like masturbation. The 4 mistakes we've explored: engaging when exhausted, rushing without mindfulness, choosing unsafe positions, and ignoring bodily changes are common, yet rarely discussed. They affect countless men over 70, often silently, until a minor issue becomes a major setback. The tragedy isn't that these mistakes exist, it's that so many men remain unaware of them, left in the dark by a society that rarely talks about how aging changes the rules of intimacy. This silence can lead to shame, isolation, or even preventable health crises. But here's the empowering truth. Aging doesn't mean the end of sexual health, pleasure, or vitality. It means your body now demands a higher level of respect, care, and awareness. Listen to its signals, whether it's fatigue, subtle changes in function, or the need for a safer environment. Slow down, prioritize mindfulness, and choose settings that support your physical and emotional well-being. I've seen men transform their lives by making these adjustments. One 73-year-old patient, after adopting safer positions and a mindful approach, reported not only improved sexual function, but also greater confidence and energy in his daily life. Another, who sought help for early prostate symptoms, regained his vitality through diet and exercise, avoiding more invasive treatments. This video isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to age with wisdom, to protect your health, and to enjoy safe, meaningful intimacy for years to come. You have the power to make small, intentional changes that yield big results. So, I ask you, what will you do differently today? Will you hydrate before intimacy, create a safer space, or schedule that doctor's visit you've been putting off? Comment 1 below to let me know you're ready to take charge of your health in every way that matters. Subscribe for more practical, life-changing advice tailored for strong, wise men like you. Let's make the years ahead vibrant, confident, and full of vitality.